Hey everybody, this is Vril. Welcome back to Extended Timeline World War II. We're now up to October of the year 2000, and in the last episode we had Mexico wage a war against Cuba here, and the Mexicans won that war, taking the actual province of Havana from Cuba there. Now, over in Africa, we had a war between British Sudan and Italian Somaliland. The Italian Somaliland actually won that war, took a couple provinces from British Sudan here. And one interesting note, neither of these countries had any help from their imperial overlords here. Now, we also had a war against, with the USA against Brunei here, and the USA won that war, kind of obviously, I guess. They actually took the actual province of Brunei from Brunei, so that's an interesting note there. We'll look at the armies of the world. We have the Chinese on top, followed by the US, Germany, Soviet Union, Great Britain, and the rest here. Looking at the current wars that are going on, we have the Soviets at war with the Japanese again. We have this is actually a big one here, with Newfoundland War for Independence. Newfoundland is backed by the US, Germany, and I guess the British West Indies here also want their independence. So against Great Britain, all the Commonwealth nations. We have Thailand in here. I think we had the Soviet Union in there as well. Yes, we did. And we have the Iranian-Omani imperialist war that's kind of going nowhere because Iran doesn't have any access to Oman other than through the Persian Gulf, which they don't have enough transport ships. We also have the Argentinian-Peruvian nationalist war going on. Peruvians do have the backing of France, so that's what makes that interesting there. So let's just go ahead and start progressing time. So, let's see, what do we want to look at here? We do have the Soviets moving into Korea here. The Soviets had previously taken these disputed islands in the north of Japan. We have the Japanese moving and occupying some land in the Soviet Union as well. Japanese are falling behind because they are, I think, the only country left that is the Eastern Tech Group. They had a uprising rebels to reenact the Eastern Tech Group while they were trying to westernize. That was several episodes ago. In Europe, we've got, since the Germans are trying to help Newfoundland gain their independence, the Germans are actually warring because the Soviet Union is on the side of Great Britain here. So the Germans are moving in through the Baltic areas here, like Estonia and Lithuania and that area, to get into the Soviet Union because they were actually bordering there. See how that goes. Looks like the German army do have quite a few 3-star generals at this point, and with the Soviet Union having all of their forces committed on the east side over here, the Germans are probably going to go do this quite well, I would think. So we'll see if Newfoundland can actually gain their independence. They had several claims on Canada over here. So if we look at Newfoundland here, we can see they actually have several claims on Canada. So we'll see how that goes. Once they gain their independence, we have the Americans swamping over the Mexicans here because, again, the Mexicans are on the side of the British here. So, not the first time we've seen that in this series, where the Americans are completely dominating over the Mexicans there. So, then we do have, Argentina was at war with Peru. Both have 3-star generals. Good battle going on here. Very even. Looks like the Peruvians are going to have the upper hand on this one, though. Let me bump up the speed to 3. Just get things going a little bit quicker. And as soon as I do that, we get a slowdown, of course. So a lot of units moving around the screen at the moment. So that battle ended up going on the side of the Argentinians there. I'm a little bit surprised by that. Just looking here, Soviet imperialist Japanese war is going well for the Soviets, apparently. Got a Indian subcontinent war going on as well. Haven't focused on those at all. That Iranian-Omani war is just like completely going nowhere. I wonder, Oman is probably just happy that the Iranians have had that's not going anywhere for them, because the Omanis are just going to, they're going to get some sort of good payment here for the Iranians once the Iranians have to surrender on this whole thing. So probably get a good payoff. So that'll work out well for them. We've got the Romanians have some pretender rebels that they're dealing with there. And look at this. We've got, okay, well, it says it's occupied by Newfoundland. So yeah, the Germans are just swamping over the Western Soviet Union here. See if they can march on Moscow or anything here. Actually, there they are right there. And they've captured Moscow, so okay. I would say that this war is possibly going to have very good shape for the Newfoundland, although a lot of these colonial wars look like they're going to go on the side of the the ones that want independence, but oftentimes they break off early because of that. We've got, what was I just looking at here? We've got, oh yes, that Tibetan Crusade against Nepal now. So the Tibetans are the only ones that are waging crusades for whatever reason. We've got, I guess it's a religion sort of thing here against the Hindus. Interesting enough that that's what they're doing. So we've got a very even armies here between Tibet and Nepal. So interesting here. We've got Bhutan, not involved in that in any way. So yeah, we won't focus on that one too much. Looks like the Soviets have occupied all of Korea at this point. Let's see, the Soviet Navy is moving around there. Let's see if they're going to... I don't think there's a strait there. It almost looked like there was, but no, there is not. So the Soviets can get to here, but not to mainland Japan or anything like that. Okay. That Newfoundland War is kind of going negative for the... Not negative, but it took a swing against the... Okay, we've actually got the... Okay, that's the German Navy. I thought for a moment that we actually had the Germans on land here in Great Britain. So, on the British Isles. But no, we did not. Just a Navy thing going on there. Interesting that the Germans would be able to beat back the British Navy at that point. So the Germans are occupying a bunch of the Soviet Union, but looks like the Soviets are re-sieging some areas because they've got a bunch of these just like 1K stacks coming around that they can siege back some areas pretty quickly, I'd say. Let's just have a quick look at what's actually going on in Newfoundland. Nothing's going on. Nothing at all. Okay. Let's have a look. Okay, so the Mexicans had to peace out of this war. This isn't the first time that happened. That they've done that many times. Basically, they get their army... They're allied with the British, but they get their army stomped, and they have to get out of these wars, so... That's how it's been going. The unfortunate part of that is I do think they'll probably start a truce timer with the Americans because of that. Yeah, you can see here. They've got truce until 2007, so the Americans won't be able to do any wars with them. Apparently the Mexicans are rivals with Canada there. Okay, do we get anything else? No, it doesn't look like it, so... Again, that Soviet Union war against the Japanese, going well for them. That's the most positive war score that we have at the moment. China's been a little quiet here recently. For a while, they were in wars every single episode against the Japanese, and I'm surprised. Let's actually... Something we could do here is look at opinions. So you can kind of see what's going to go on here. So obviously they aren't very good relations with the Japanese, but I'm surprised that since they are not all that good relations with Tibet here that they wouldn't have warred with Tibet. I guess that brings up some worldly issues. But here we've got the Germans. You can see they are not liked by any of their neighbors. France, the British, Poland, still not... Yeah, they're not liked by anybody. Romania, Turks, they're allied with them, so that's why they have good relations. Or Iran correctly does not like Saudi Arabia here. Saudi Arabia does not like the Turks or the Egyptians. They're probably vying for control of the Middle East here, since we are up to the year 2000 now. What about France here? So the French do not like the Spanish. They're okay with everybody else, not the Germans though, or the Italians actually. Quickly look over at the USA. Not good relations with the Mexicans. They're allied with the Canadians though. Okay, well let's head back on over to... Did this war, Newfoundland War? No, okay. I thought maybe it ended. Did the Germans get out of that? It is still going on. Okay, the Soviet Union's bowed out of that war. That's what happened. So the Germans can focus on whatever they're going to focus on. It looks like we've got the American Navy... And they're actually moving into Ireland, Northern Ireland. Walls are breached. There's a water shortage. And that should give them access. Again, they don't have... Whenever they bring their armies over, they never put a leader on them. So I don't know what the deal is there. So the British should be able to fight them off. We've got... The Germans are... I think they're... Yeah, they're blockading this coast here, is what they're doing. So... Okay, we've got that Kochi. That's a new one, I think. Okay, Tibetan Crusade, that's what I was looking for. So it's actually going against Tibet. Anything else? Iranian Omani War is just kind of going nowhere. Okay, we do have a second Brazilian-Argentinian imperialist war. It's fired off Argentina and Ecuador. Okay, let's quickly... have a look at that, but I want to keep an eye on the Americans invading the mainland of the British Isles there, so... Okay, yeah, so the Brazilians are certainly going to have a larger army, so I don't want to spend too much time on that. Let me just quickly look at our diplomatic view, and you guys can see what's going on here. So the Spanish are on the side of the Brazilians. Okay, let's head back here, watch the... Okay, gotta slow down. Watch the American army probably get defeated by the British here. Taking a little bit of attrition. Yeah, I think they sieged some areas, but then they were almost immediately sieged back by the British. Did have a army with rebuilding morale around here. They might have just been offloaded here in London. Did not see what was going on there, so are they sieging? No, they sieged that back already. Again, the German Navy fighting off the coast here in Scotland. Taking out quite a bit of the British Navy, so this is probably quite costly for the British. I'm surprised that the Germans would have such a good navy. Where's the bulk of the German army here? Because I would have thought they'd have a larger army than all of that. Let me quickly look here. They are completely out of manpower. Okay. Let's quickly head back on over to Japan and Korea here. Nothing really going on. Soviets are blockading a lot of Japanese ports. The Japanese not doing so hot these days. Okay, British Australia has occupied American Indonesia. Okay. Well, again, it's the Philippines, so it's the American Indonesia here. Do we have an American fleet there? Let's head on back. We've got another Just saw it. And then see where... Okay, there's another American fleet. Looks like they had some transports, but I don't think they are actually delivering anybody. So the Americans are just going to have to run away until the British can catch up to them. I think that's what's going to happen here. The British should just surround them. They have leaders on their units here, so they should be okay, I would think. We've got Portuguese revolutionaries here in Portugal. Anything else going on? We've got some Iraqi peasants rising up. Looks like they've already been taken care of, but the Iraqis need to recapture their own land. What's going on here with this British or this German stack? Are they stuck? I think they're stuck. They're exiled there. Not sure why. Can't find their way back. Okay, so this American stack is just like wandering around sieging in Scotland. Not sure why the British army doesn't want to do anything about that. They just want to focus on besieging back. The Americans are delivering more units to Northern Ireland. Okay. Well, even if they don't have a leader at that point, if they have a 150k stack, then they would be able to take out the British on their mainland. We'll need to end up sieging London here, though, if they want to really, really get Newfoundland, gain their independence. Soviets are still... Let's see, what do we got here? This is a new one. We've got Venezuela with Dominican Republic against the British West Indies and Newfoundland. Okay. Anything else? Bulgarian conquest in Serbia. Actually, Yugoslavia, since Serbia and Yugoslavia are separate countries in our world here. So was that Bulgaria is what we said? Yeah, okay. I looked at the map here and I started seeing Romania and I saw these Romanian particularists and I started thinking, was that the Romanians? But no, it was not. So I would say that the Bulgarians are going to be able to stomp the Yugoslavians here and take over whatever they want. Okay. So I think, unfortunately, we missed a battle here between the British and the Americans. Looks like the Americans won that battle, but the British are still around. Okay. Their stack wasn't completely decimated. That was like an 80k stack against, I don't know how big it was, but it was close. Okay, and the Americans are attacking the British here just because the British are completely out of morale, but it's very unwise for the Americans to do that without a leader. Why are you guys not using a leader? It's just crazy. I've been doing this the entire series. I don't think they, like, because they go on transport ships, do they lose their general when they do that? Didn't think that they did, but apparently they do. Or the Americans are just gonna sit on their generals here. Yeah, we've even got like 1-star generals around here. Okay. So what else do we have here? We've had several wars in here. You guys will have to use your use your powers of rewind to figure out what just ended. But we do have this Brazilian Argentinian War still going on. Peru has cores on Brazil. Okay, here we had a Venezuelan against the British West Indies. That's also what we had going on. Okay. British West Indies actually have a very large stack there. And the Venezuelans probably can't figure out how to actually do much of anything here. That's Dutch island there. Let's see, I'm not sure which one that was. Okay, we've got Jamaica is part of the... Are they on the side of the Americans? That must be in the Newfoundland War here. Jamaica must be somewhere in one of these. I'm not sure. Okay. These Portuguese revolutionaries really rising up. Okay, we've got Wales. Are they... let's quickly... Okay, the Newfoundland must have gained its independence. Yes, they have. And so did Wales, apparently. Alright. I'll probably look at this a little bit more at the beginning of the next episode and go over this. Alright, so it does look like we're out of time for this episode. I hope you enjoyed this one, and please consider hitting the like button if you did, as it really helps out the channel. So see you guys next time.